Welcome back. All right, it's gonna be a busy day for me, so I'm gonna record this first board while we're in between the second and third period of Chicago St. Louis, just to give you a timeline for when I'm recording this. And then I'm gonna record obviously that second board, get that video up. Then I've got a news video to do, and then I've got the other 8 games to watch. The funny thing is, on Saturdays it's hockey all day, and because it's hockey all day, I don't have time to do videos, and it's weird because it's like, all right, it's all day hockey, and that means the channel has a lot less viewers. Anyways, that being said, we'll go ahead and start things off with Vancouver in New York against the Rangers. Lankinen versus Shesterkin. They had a nice tribute to Sam Rosen before the game. I appreciate that. I'm glad that Sam Rosen's getting a lot of praise as he makes his exit, this being his final year as an announcer. Höglander has a shot kicked aside. The Rangers press at 1.5 minutes. Shots are 2-0 Canucks at 3 minutes. Canucks press at 4.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Othman on a rebound. Both teams pick off net feeds. Shots are 4-1 Vancouver with 9.5 minutes left. Joshua has a 3-on-2 chance that's held, or saved, I should say. And then during that same play, shortly thereafter, at 11:51, Joshua buries a rebound. Quinn Hughes and Amon with the assists. Quinn Hughes now with 400 points in his National Hockey League career. He's going to annihilate that Alex Edler record for points by a defenseman in the Vancouver Canucks. Fans call one. The referee does not. DeBrusk has a rush chance. That's saved. Canucks press with 4 minutes left. There's more pressure by the Canucks to close, and there's some booing. If not for Igor Shesterkin, this game easily could have been 3-0 Vancouver after 1, and that would continue in the second. Things get pushy on a Canucks offside. Things go to 4-on-4. Canucks press at 4 minutes. Mancini has a near miss on a net drive. Shots are 5-1 Vancouver at 5 minutes. The Igor chants were justified in this game. Canucks draw a power play. That leads to a shorthanded rush chance by K'Andre Miller. That's held. The Canucks get a 11-second 5-on-3. They call a timeout, and it doesn't matter. Punching is picking up on the whistles. We end up with a 4-on-4. 30 minutes into this game, the Rangers had 3 shots on net. So they had no business being in this game. Everything gets killed off, and then on their 4th shot, the Rangers score. It's Fox from Schneider and Lafreniere at 11:03. Teams trade rushes. The Rangers press with 5.5 minutes left. Pettersson to Besser, near miss there. Canucks press with 3 minutes left. Momentum for the Canucks. Igor holds on with 46 seconds left. The Canucks get a power play. That rolls over into the third period with the game tied at 1, and a crazy third period takes place. Rangers finish the kill, and then on a rush, it's a tic-tac-toe play finished by Brodzinski at 1:39. JT Miller and Lafreniere with the assists. The Rangers press at 4.5 minutes. Canucks press at 5.5 minutes. The Rangers block. Rempe has a net drive. That's blocked. Shots are 3-2 Rangers at 7.5 minutes. This is right around where they announced that Pettersson, and that's the forward Elias Pettersson, wouldn't return to the game, and neither would Höglander, so not great news for the Canucks. And then O'Connor scores to tie things at 2 from Amon and Mancini, bearing his own rebound at 11:22. However, the Rangers get that back at 12:40. It's K'Andre Miller deflecting one top. Well, it deflects top corner off of K'Andre Miller's shot. Trocheck and Fox with the assists. And then at 15:10, the Canucks get the lead back. Besser. They tie it again. Besser scores from DeBrusk. He just turns and wires it from in close, so Besser stays red hot. However, the Rangers get that back. At 15:47, Brodzinski buries a net feed. Lafreniere and Soucy with the assists. The goalie pull happens with 2.5 minutes left. And at 19:44, JT Miller, he buries the empty netter. Adam Fox with the assist. And so the Rangers win this one 5-3. They go to 34, 31, and 6 to stay in the hunt. The Canucks are in trouble, 32, 26, and 12. But, I mean, if you're a Canuck fan and you've been watching, I don't think they're going to make it. So shots on net, 11-1 Vancouver in the first, 13-5 Vancouver in the second, 15-6 Vancouver in the third. The final shot's 39-12 for Vancouver. Power plays, Vancouver 0-for-3, the Rangers 0-for-1. The hits 54-35 for the Rangers. Most of those 35 hits by the Canucks would be for Sherwood, who set an NHL record in hits in a season. Lankinen saves 7 out of 11. The only question is how much blame falls on Lankinen in this one. It does. And if your answer is, well, he's been playing too much, right, the Canucks need another goaltender. Shesterkin, 36 saves on 39 shots. He was fantastic. The Rangers got the saves when they needed them. The Canucks did not. All right, next up, Philadelphia and Dallas. So, Fedotov versus Ottinger, the Rave jerseys on display for Dallas today, the black and bright green ones. Early jump for Philly. In fact, shots are 5-0 Flyers at 3 minutes. The Stars press are kept to the outside until at 6:27. Harley wires one pass to screen on what was the first shot of the game for Dallas. Steele and Blackwell with the assists. Flyers would press at 8 minutes, and then on a rush, Lindell scores at 8:59 from Granlund and Duchesne. That was the second shot on net in the game and the second goal for Dallas. Shots are 6-2 Philly with 8 minutes left. The Stars press with 5.5 minutes left. Things get pushy on a hold by Ottinger. We get a power play for the Flyers. That's killed off with 1:20 left. The Flyers go back to the power play. That runs to the end of the first period with the score 2-0 for Dallas, who had 3 shots on net. So Ersson goes into the net to start the second period for Philly. The Stars finish the kill. The shots are 4-0 Dallas at 2.5 minutes, so good thing they put Ersson in. No shots for the Flyers 5 minutes into the period. The teams trade turnovers. Lixell fans on a chance on an open net. Pelche has a rush chance that's blocked. And then at 13:03, Travis Konechny gets his first in 13 games. The assist to Couturier Michkov. He just buries that one from the right circle. It's suddenly 2-1. Stars look to respond. We get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off. The Stars nearly scored. Did the puck cross? No. Very barely stays on the line, but it did not cross the line. Stars go to the power play as a result of that, though. Like, during that play, it was a delayed call, so they still end up getting the power play. Philly kills that off. And then shortly after it's done at 18:48, Paling buries one on a fast break. Michkov and Forrester with the assist. So suddenly, it's a 2-2 tie. Stars press to respond with 8.9 seconds left. The Stars get another power play. So that rolls over into the third period with the score tied at 2. Flyers finish the kill. The Stars then get their 4th power play in a row. That then becomes 32 seconds of 4-on-4. The Flyers get a turn out of that. Everything ends up being killed off. Flyers press at 9 minutes. Shots are 5-3 for the Flyers at the half. Shoulder save on York from the slot. Flyers press with 6.5 minutes left. The Stars press with 2.5 minutes left. More pressure by Dallas in the final minute. We're going to overtime. Very quickly in overtime, Harley ends this. 9 seconds in, Harley gets one from Robertson, and Dallas wins this one 3-2. They go to 44-21-4 with the win. With the overtime loss, Philadelphia 28-34-9. Shots on net, 8-3 Philly in the first, 7-5 Dallas in the second, 11-8 Philly in the third. Dallas only needed one shot in the overtime to win it. Final shots 24-19 for Philadelphia. Power plays, the Flyers 0 for 3, Dallas 0 for 4. The hits 19-16 in favor of the Flyers. Fedotov saves 1 out of 3. Ersson saves 15 out of 16. Ottinger saves 22 out of 24. All right, and the last game we're going to talk about before I get back to watching some hockey, Luukkonen versus Gustafsson, as it was Buffalo and Minnesota against the Wild. Hinostroza has a net drive chance that's held. Of course, he used to play for Buffalo, so he wanted to get on the board. We get a power play for the Sabres. That's killed off. Shots are 3-2 Buffalo at 8.5 minutes. The Wild draw a power play. That's killed off as well. Sabres press with 9 minutes left. The Wild then get some pressure with 8 minutes left. Both teams are blocking the path to the net pretty well. Not a lot of prime chances in that first period. Thompson has a net drive that's blocked. Things get pushy on a hold by Luukkonen. Sabres get some pressure in the final minute. It's 0-0 after 1. Second period, 56 seconds in, Minnesota opens the scoring. Rossi buries a net feed. Trennan and Hinostroza with the assists. The Sabres look to respond. Malenstein has a one-timer. That's held. Shots are 3-2 Minnesota at 5 minutes. The Wild end up drawing a power play, but during the delayed call, they score. Brazo has one deflect in off his skate. Gaunce and Boldy with the assists at 5:07. I don't think Lindy Ruff liked that it went in off the skate, but couldn't be argued as a kicking motion, so he did not challenge there. And they also checked and said, yeah, good goal. The Wild look for another, and they get it at 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Zuccarello buries one from the slot on a rush. Boldy and Bogosian with the assists. It's 3-0 for Minnesota. Wild press for another. Sabres press with 9.5 minutes left, but the shots are 9-3 Minnesota with 8.5 minutes left. Wild press with 5.5 minutes left with 3:37 left. The Wild get a power play. That's killed off. I don't think that one had a shot, but it's 3-0 Minnesota after 2. Third period. Early press by Buffalo. The Sabres end up drawing a power play. That's killed off. 6 minutes into the period. Shots are 4-0 in favor of the Sabres. 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and during that 4-on-4, Buffalo gets on the board. Peterka from Power and Dahlin at 6:48. Sabres then look to tie it. Boldy has a wrister. That's held. Wild press with 9.5 minutes left. Peterka has a net feed. That's picked off. Goalie pull happens with 2:35 left. With 1:58 left, the Sabres call a timeout. Minnesota ends up hitting the empty net. At 19:27, Freddie Gaudreau scores from Zuccarello, and the final score in this one's 4-1. Minnesota goes to 40, 25, and 5 with the win. With the loss, Buffalo 27, 35, and 6. Shots on net, 8-6 Buffalo in the first, 10-6 in favor of Minnesota in the second, 7-5 Buffalo in the third. Both teams had 21 shots. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 2. The hits, both teams had 20. I'll go ahead and say this was a pretty evenly played game. Luukkonen saves 17 out of 20. Gustafsson saves 20 out of 21. Time for board number 2. Okay, so Chicago and St. Louis. Today's just bonkers. Soderblom versus Hofer in this one. The Blues press at 1.5. Thomas has a net drive chance that saved. Shots are 2-1 St. Louis at 4 minutes. The Blues press at 6.5 minutes. Shots are 6-2 for the Hawks with 8 minutes left. So Chicago had some opportunities in this game, absolutely. Soderblom with a bit of an oops, but he recovers and makes a save at the net. The Hawks press with 6.5 minutes left. Neighbors flattens Martinez and ends up being challenged and fights Dickinson. So Dickinson gets the instigator penalty, putting the Blues on the power play. Chicago does kill that off. That is where my marker died. The Hawks press to close it out, so it's scoreless after the first. Second period, things get pushed in a hold by Hofer. The Blues press at 3 minutes. Shots are 5-1 Blues at 4 minutes. Things then get pushed in a hold by Soderblom. These teams don't like each other, they're division rivals, so it's there. Shots are 5-1 St. Louis at 4 minutes. And then the Blues press at 6 minutes. A lot of one and done. Pretty defensive game to this point. The teams trade rushes. Shots are 7-6 Hawks with 7.5 minutes left. Holloway couldn't bury one in close. The Blues press with 5.5 minutes left. Eventually, they open the scoring. At 15-13, Thomas bats one out of the air into the net. Holloway and Kyrou with the assist. So, 1-0 St. Louis. Hawks press with 3.5 minutes left. At 17-20, Toropchenko makes it 2-0. Foxa with the assist. Blues press for another, and with 1:15 left, the Blues get a power play. However, at 19:06 on a rush, shorthanded, Mikheyev scores from Foligno, cutting the lead to 2-1. So the power play rolls over into the third period. Chicago does finish the kill, but not long after at 1:12, on a cross-crease pass, Walker buries one on a rush. Toropchenko and Falk with the assist. So Toropchenko with a multi-point game today. Hawks look to respond. Bedard has a net feed that's picked off. Shots are 2-0 St. Louis at 6 minutes. We had a fight between Maroon and Tucker. We will be talking about Maroon in a news video later on today when I can squeeze that in. He has announced this will be his final season. Hawks press at 7 minutes, but at 7:43, St. Louis scores again. Bolduc from Broberg and Shen. Blues then press at the half. The shots are 7-3 St. Louis with 7.5 minutes left. Things are pushy on a hold by Hofer. Hawks press with 4 minutes left. The Blues press with 3 minutes left. And in the end, they win this one 4-1. They go to 36, 28, and 7 with the victory. St. Louis is cruising to that last playoff spot from the looks of things. Chicago 20, 41, and 9 with the loss. Shots on net 6-5 Chicago in the first, 13 apiece in the second, 8-7 Chicago in the third. Final shots 27-25 for the Hawks. Chicago did not have a power play. St. Louis went 0 for 2. The hits 24-19 St. Louis. Soderblom saves 21 out of 25. Hofer saves 26 out of 27. All right, next up, Calgary and the Islanders. Let me go ahead and get a score on that one. That's how bonkers this is. All right, now that we got a score on this, Vladar versus Hogberg, 36 seconds in, Calgary scores. Hogberg with the turnover, and it deflects in. Coronado from Huberdeau. So 1-0 in favor of Calgary, and we're in the first minute. Then there's a near miss from McLean from in close. Shots are 5-2 for the New York Islanders at 5 minutes. There's a near miss for Zari in close. The Flames press at 7 minutes. The teams trade rushes, and at 10:46, Horvat. It deflects to his stick, and he buries it. D'Angelo and Holmstrom with the assists. It's a 1-1 tie. Islanders press for the lead. We get a power play for those Islanders. That's killed off. Huberdeau's denied as the Flames pressure. And at 17:41, Gadcombe gives the Islanders their first lead of the game at 2-1. Siplikov and Dobson with the assists. So 2-1 Islanders after the first. Second period, early press by the Islanders. We get a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. Shots are 3-2 for the Islanders at 4 minutes. Anderson has a shot that's held. There's some pushing. And then at 6:03, Coronado gets the second goal of the game and his 20th of the season. Huberdeau and Anderson with the assists. The Flames then look for the lead. They end up going back to the power play. That one's killed off. The teams trade rushes. It's 2-2 after the second period. Third period, early press again by the Islanders. The Flames get pinned down. They end up being forced to ice it. They don't allow a lot at the net, though. Engvall fires one wide on a rush. The teams trade turnovers. 3.5 minutes in, the shots are 2-1 Calgary. Flames press at 4 minutes. Lee has a rush chance that saved. The Islanders press at 5.5 minutes. A net feed to Palmieri gets blocked. Islanders press at 9.5 minutes. With 8.5 minutes left, it already felt like overtime. Teams not really taking dangerous chances and being safe with the puck. Flames have a 3-on-2 that's defended, but then at 17:09, McLean buries a rebound to give the Islanders the lead. Siplikov and Dobson with the assists yet again. They combined for assists in the first period. Flames look to respond, and they do. At 17:38 on a faceoff win, Huberdeau scores to tie it. Anderson with the assist. The Islanders then press to close it out, and yep, we're going to overtime. The Islanders control early. The Flames take over. They set up. Lee gets denied. Frost couldn't bury one when he was on a breakaway. And then at 3:51, Kadri goes far corner from the left circle for the winner. Rasmus Anderson with the assist. So Calgary win this one in overtime 4-3. They go to 33-25-11 with the win. With the loss, the Islanders 32-28-9 overtime loss. So the 9. Shots on net, 13-11 Calgary in the first, 13-6 Calgary in the second, 9-7 Islanders in the third, 3-2 Islanders in the overtime, but the Flames with the shot that matters. Final shots, 35-29 Calgary. The Flames go 0-2 on the power play. The Islanders 0-1. The hits, 19-18 Islanders. Vladar saves 26 out of 29. Hogberg saves 31 out of 35. It used to always be Hogberg, and now it's pronounced Hogberg, I guess. I don't know. Goalies like to change those things up, right? All right. And the bonkers craziness of the Canes and Kings rounds out this board. Kochetkov versus Riddick. The Canes press at 2 minutes. At 3:03, on what was the first shot for the Kings, they score. Kempe goes far post and in on a net drive. Hellenius and Jeannot with the assists. The Canes press at 4.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. Moore has a screenshot that's saved as the Kings get some pressure. Burns has a point shot that's held. There was no traffic in front of the net there. Shots are 3-1 Canes at 8 minutes. The Canes press at 9 minutes, but LA ends up getting a power play, and they score in it. Kopitar from Kuzmenko and Doughty at 14:39. The Canes press to respond. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The Canes press with a minute and a half left, and in the closing seconds at 19:55 on zone entry, Kuzmenko wires one, his first as a member of the Kings. The assist to Kopitar. It's 3-0 LA after the first, even though they got outshot by a ratio of more than 2-1 in that first period. Second period, early press by the Canes. Blake has a prime chance that's blocked. Shots are 1 apiece at 3.5 minutes. Aho has a net drive that's blocked, and then at 5:58, Trevor Moore goes bar down from the slot to make it a 4-0 lead. Dano and Fogle with the assist. So Trevor Moore got off to a slow start, really picking it up in the second half. Good to see. Kings press for another, and they get it at 6:49. Jeannot with a wrister from the right circle. Turcotte and Doughty with the assists. And then at 8:41, Byfield with a goal from Fiala, and he kind of reacted with when it went in, like, yep, another goal. 6-0 for the LA Kings at that point. The Canes score. It's challenged. It does count. So at 14:17, Orlov gets the Canes on the board. Chatfield and Stankoven with the assists. It was a double deflection goal in front of the net. Kings kill the resulting power play for the failed challenge by the Kings. Canes go back to the power play. That's killed off. It's 6-1 LA after 2 periods. Third period, early power play for the Kings. Jarvis exits. He collided into the boards on a shorthanded play. Hopefully he's okay, but it didn't look great. The Canes then finish the kill, but of course the concern would have been about Jarvis. Kings press at 4 minutes. Shots are 6-1 LA at 6.5 minutes. Fiala fires one high on a rush. Fogle has a slot shot. That's held. The Kings press with 3.5 minutes left. And at 18:03, Fiala scores to make it 7-1. Lafreniere and Byfield with the assists. But at 18:11, Jankowski answers to make it 7-2, and that's as close as it got. The Kings win this one, a no-mercy game, so the no-mercy magnet on the board. They go to 38-21-9 with the win. With the loss, the Canes 42-23-4. Shots on net, 13-6 Carolina in the first, 12-7 Carolina in the second, and then 12-11 LA in the third. The final shots are actually 36-25 for Carolina. Power plays, the Canes 0-2, LA 1-2. The hits, 22-13 in favor of the Kings. Kochetkov, 18 saves on 25 shots. Riddick, 34 saves on 36 shots. Really good start for Riddick. We'll see if he can keep that up. Let me know your thoughts regarding today's games so far in the comment section below. The other games will be reviewed after everything's done tonight. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.